people, you're back again with the S.O.S boys. Here with a special one, because we are advocates for men's mental health.
Yeah.
And as we know, or some may know, some may not know, it is men's. Is it men's or just mental health awareness?
Mental health.
Just mental health, isn't it? Mental health awareness month. So I'm gonna get into the normal guest, well, the normal panel that we always have here, but I'm gonna get into the guest first. So I'm gonna run it over to my brother. Announce yourself, let them know who you are.
So I'm Micah Abna. I'm an actor, writer, basically, and somewhat advocate of mental health. So I'm just here to talk about mental health. It's Mental Health Awareness Week, so obviously here to chop it up with the man them and see what.
And look out for him. More to come. But we're gonna get back into that in future time. So we're gonna get there. But I'm gonna run it over to my left. Who have we got in the building?
It's your boy T as always, man. You know.
How you, my guy?
I'm good. I'm knackered, but you know, we're there.
It's been a long weekend.
Very
Been a long
long
for you, man. Definitely been a long weekend.
But hey, we're here. We're live. Let's go, man.
Yes. So to my right.
You already know, man, it's your boy 365. Yeah, man, I'm just happy to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Coming off this weekend, it's been a joyous weekend, very celebratory weekend. You know what I'm saying? More life than that. But bro, just
to the listeners, you may not know, but it was your boy 365 birthday earlier on. Yeah, so people don't wish him a happy birthday.
Appreciate it.
Big celebrations yesterday.
He's upgraded his thing now. They gave him his level 3 car, so
For real.
yeah, he's joined the crew. Welcome.
Yeah, 30th floor.
Welcome.
But yeah, man, it's been a good week, it's been a fun week. And yeah, man, just happy to come and talk now about, mental health. Do you say it is mental health? Is it Awareness Week or a month?
Month.
So yeah, man, just
Alright, cool. Let me kick off with this. Off the back of obviously your birthday, hitting 30, a party. How you feeling mentally? Because obviously really and truly, that's.
I like that. Well, I just feel like obviously as you approach your late 20s anyway, you kind of have a shift, like
mentally.
Not everyone. I can't just say everyone, but I feel like not necessarily the way society is, but the way life is.
Yeah.
When you hit like that late 20s stage, you start to think, right, like I'm gonna be 30 soon. And for some reason, it's like there is this light that shines on turning 30.
Yeah, it just starts
makes
it feel
brighter
and brighter.
It's a mad rite of passage. You get what I'm saying? I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. Cool. I remember the day before, like the night before my birthday. I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, right, this is the last hours of me being 20. Like being in my 20s, should I say?
Yeah.
Do you get it? It's hit midnight. It's my birthday. Bam. Now I'm 30.
Just like that.
But you feel like nothing changes,
that's
though.
it. So that's the thing.
It's
just another day.
Yeah.
I've just taken another step. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just another day. Obviously, thank the Lord for letting me see another year or so and so forth. But I feel like there's that pressure when you turn 30, like, raw, like you have to get your life
sorted out.
You wanna get your life in order or be on the journey towards getting your life in order, especially when you're at that 30 stage. So I just feel like there's definitely a light that shines at that age, but I can understand why, because when you do hit that stage, you want to start at least trying to put things in place or have things in place already that you're trying to build on. Because I feel like I could be right, I could be wrong by saying this, but your 20s is really where you want to make a lot of mistakes. You know what I'm saying? You want to do all of that stuff, and then when you hit the 30s is when you want to try
to get your stuff together. You know what you're doing.
You know what I'm trying to say? You don't have to. Like that's not that's not everyone's journey, but that's the kind of.
But would you say that's a personal pressure or a societal pressure?
I think that's societal. I kind of think you get that from everyone, because like for example, friends, family, like 10 or 30, did like people start looking at you like, raw, like.
You're 30 now.
Where's your kids?
Yeah.
Are you back home? Are you gonna get married? All these kind of things. You know what I'm saying? And those are good things. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, people want to have families. You want to get married. You want to do all those things, which is great. But it's like cool. When you hit a certain age, like everyone starts looking at you like, when are these things gonna happen? But then also is that a lot of people around you at that age is when you actually now start to see your friends. Do you get me? People that are close to you are now taking those steps, so that also adds an element to it as well.
That pressure,
Do you get what I'm saying?
So
personally, for myself, a lot of people around me, my close friends, intimate circle of friends, these things are all happening. Do you get what I'm saying? So then it's like in the back of your mind, you start to think to yourself as well, like, not necessarily that I need to do this, but you start to think, alright, when am I actually going to do this?
Yeah, okay, cool.
Because if I'm seeing this around me, it's like naturally, and then for example, if you're in a healthy relationship, if you're working a job and you feel like you're in a career and you're saving money and if you got all those things in place, it's like, right, when are you gonna do it? Well, how are you gonna do it? Or you start to think that in your mind. So I think that's the point I'm trying to get across. There's just that necessarily that when you hit that late stage of 20, that transition into 30, you start to feel.
But don't you think it could be?
You start to feel a bit different.
It could be taken as a positive. Like I feel
No,
like
100%.
it can also give you that drive you need. Like you're seeing around you, like, no, I need to pattern up.
100.
I feel like in your 20s, like you said, you can make mistakes, but you don't really ponder upon the mistakes too much. Like I feel like from 20 to 26, it's like you're just coasting.
Yeah,
but that last 4 years,
It's where
26,
you gotta
27,
start.
28, you start focusing
Ideally,
on
you
30
should
a
start
bit more.
cleaning up and start to get yourself focused.
But on top of it, if your circle around you is patterning up as well, you see marriage, kids, that's everyone's just looking financially well.
it
It's
plays
like,
a part.
yards and that sort of
Yeah,
stuff. If a
it's
kid,
beautiful.
It plays a
nah,
part.
I need to pattern up.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's that drive as well.
Yeah,
I think
bro.
I don't want the way I explain that to make it seem as if it's a negative. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just
I
saying-
can touch on it can be a negative.
Yeah, but it can also be
Yeah.
a negative because
Yeah.
you can now apply too much pressure and you may not be able to deal with it.
You
You
crumble.
can do,
you crumble.
It's all about your perception, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because if you perceive it in like a negative way,
Yeah.
it's gonna be negative.
Yeah,
You
100%.
get what I'm trying to say. So if you actually think it's a positive thing, like, nah, you know what? Obviously, man's the big 3-0 now.
Yeah.
Now it's time to kind of pattern up.
Yeah,
let me
It's
level
about
up,
your
let me level-
perception.
there you
go.
Because bro, when we was younger, yeah. Fam, obviously everyone's got plans of what they want to do in their 30s, yeah. You think, oh yeah, by the time I'm 30, whatever, I'm gonna have my whole life together. And then you hit 30, you're like, ooh.
I hit
Like,
that.
wait, hold on.
It's not as easy as I
You know what I
thought
mean?
it was.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. Like, yeah. Happy birthday anyway.
No,
bro.
thank you.
Welcome
Thank
to
you.
the
Thank
free
you.
roll.
For real, for real.
Free, man. So okay, cool. Based on what you just said, like, what's your perspective on it? Are you seeing it as a positive?
100% I'm seeing it as a
Okay.
positive. 100% I'm seeing it as a positive. And I feel like what DJ is saying, like from 27 onwards is where I really start to kind of try to lock in and try to pattern certain things. You get what I'm saying? And luckily I was able to do that before I actually hit 30. So now I'm 30. It's just about taking more
Continue
steps.
journey,
You know what I'm saying? Just
yeah.
continuing, just doing better. I'm doing more. If you get what I mean. So
I was gonna say, did you also reflect on this? Feel like once, because you're now 30, you'll sit there and think, raw, why did I have all this motion for all these years realistically, like fathoming all these thoughts? Because you just sit there and think, why did I add so much personal pressure? Because, like, as you said, the day kicked in, nothing's actually changed.
yeah.
You're still on the same road that you're going down. Like,
Yeah.
nothing's really changed. You just
Yeah.
sit there and think, sometimes how we perceive things is off key. Like, why by 30?
But do you think maybe it might be something to do with our parents' generation, though?
Yeah.
Because
Hey, don't forget.
Mm,
Some
but-
of them did stuff a lot earlier than
bro,
we are.
they
I feel like we're doing things earlier than they do.
No.
Nah.
My mum had me at 25.
Huh?
My mum had me at 25.
I mean, in certain it depends
She
on how
got
you look at
married a
it.
year after, literally the same year, next couple months after having me.
Now, I was talking more in the sense of like graduating, getting your first house, this and that. Yeah, people
Yeah,
had
they
kids.
done that early back then. But you have to remember, the times have changed. The things that we're doing now,
Yeah.
if we were to try to do it, it would be the same. Because if they try to do it now in our generation, it's not going to work the way it worked back there for them. It's not, because of this world we currently live in. The way prices are up, everything's up. The world they were in is a lot more different to the world we were in. So they could have done it a lot more early than we could.
I always find it funny that when we come here in pod, conversation we have kind of stemmed to the conversation I had with my dad. Because we were talking about something similar about how things are just easier in his time. And he's just like,
Way easier back then.
but he's saying no, not really.
From his perspective.
Yeah,
well,
from his perspective. Because he's
From
just trying to
ours
look at
it
like
is.
inflation in the
Oh,
sense
yeah,
of, he's like,
true.
when you weigh it up, yes, your prices have gone up, but then you're getting
making
paid
less.
more.
Yeah.
You're getting paid more now. So he's like the equivalent in that sort of. But I'm explaining it to
Getting paid
him.
more, but it doesn't still balance.
No, but I was talking more on the social pressures, just like in the sense of like now having kids. I think our generation and below really look at it like, okay, how is this financially gonna work?
Yeah.
Whereas their generation is just like,
We'll make it work.
we'll make it work. And my dad literally said earlier, he's just like, yeah, when I was having kids, it's like, we'll just make it work sort of thing. But I'm like, we don't have that space to think that way, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
You can't just say make it work in this game.
It don't work. And I feel like that also adds pressure on yourself because, like you're saying, you get to a certain age, you're realizing that, my brethren's got a kid. That was a kid. You're like, you'll start looking at yourself like, I would love to have a kid, but it don't make sense right now. You guys know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that you can take on that pressure, and it can throw into so many things, really make you sick, mentally ill in all types of ways. And I just feel like, what could change that, or what does the change to that bring? Like, how can that ever change? Because again, I feel like as time goes on, are we gonna look at that? Like, say for example, I'm a dad. Am I gonna look at my daughter now when she talks at a certain age and be like, it's a lot. It wasn't that bad in my time. Like, you have it a lot easier in a sense, but How does it equate?
It depends on the world, really.
Yeah, we just have to wait and see.
That's literally, and
That's
that's
what the future
it's on
says,
the
what I'm
world.
saying.
It could crash and go back down, or keep skyrocketing up. You never know.
But it has to stop at some point. Though.
Yeah, it's got to go
It
back.
has to stop at some
Lord,
point.
I said,
We gotta hope. We gotta hope. 'Cause
I
again,
said in the conversation I was having with my dad that something has to kick in because, especially how the world's going, mental health is about to skyrocket because I feel like our generation is the last generation of a certain level of resilience. Like we can cope to a certain degree. But I see it as the generation coming after us and after, they're just getting softer and softer.
A lot of us are first gen.
Huh?
A lot of us are first gen, so we kind of still.
But have you never reflected and thought that way? Like, when I look at mental health on the whole, I'm like, this thing's about to skyrocket because especially when you're working with kids and stuff.
I feel like, yeah, with the way the world is treating it now, it's...
Like, say, for example, you guys do coaching.
Yeah.
When you look at the kids, do you see, like, how do they handle themselves if they lose, if they did, like, you know when you was losing in school, it's just like, you'll be annoyed, but like, hey, let's go.
That hasn't changed.
You think it's not changed?
Certain
You
kids
think you react the same?
Then some will cry, some will get tough with it and say, nah, next game, or let's rise up. It's still the same. That's not changing.
There's a difference though. The difference is everyone involved gets a participation badge.
And I said this as well. Back in the day, there was first, second, and third. Someone has to be the winner.
Yeah.
Now they're telling these kids, you're all winners. How's that gonna work in the workplace, man? When your boss criticizes you.
But this is where I say it can get dangerous because I think that yes, we want to improve or help mental health moving forward, but let's not be stupid. Saying we have to show yes at this stage when you're in a team sport, cool, everyone are winners. You got to let them understand what real life is. I feel like you have to show them. Listen, real life is not what you just experience here. You know, you're gonna go for that interview, but you might not get that job, and that is facts, and that's you just got to accept that. It's just that's part of life. So teaching them saying, "Oh, we're all winners," is all good and dandy, but don't forget that aspect of actually teach them about real life as well. Because that's when you can get skewed. A lot of people, and you see it, their perception of the world is based on what they've been taught growing up. And now when they hit the real world, they're rattled. They might not saying, hold on, this isn't what mommy and daddy told me life was going to be like. Why is it not linking up?
That was the point, what mommy and daddy taught me. I feel, I can only speak for myself, again, having this conversation with my dad earlier. There's a lot of conversation I didn't have with my mum and dad. I just kind of, throughout how I was raised, I just navigated through, but I feel like it wasn't worried.
I feel like we were more equipped.
And I don't think the newer generation are. And this is why I feel like parents sugarcoat them.
So
because they're wrapped in cotton wool.
They're wrapped in cotton wool.
They are wrapped in cotton wool. I get that.
But I think that's the fear I've seen from a lot of parents.
They're dealing with things completely different now. So they're in a completely different age.
That's
what they're going through. So we also need to look at it from that perspective.
I'm going to put a flip on that. Do you know what my dad mentioned about that earlier? He said, in his times there were stabbings as well. He said, if anything, I don't know how sensitive this sounds, but he said, if anything, the youth nowadays are a bit soft. He's saying that a lot of them are dying from things that he don't think that it's like mad that they die from a stab here. He's saying he's no man in school that got stabbed in the neck and just patched up and kind of survived it. So he's looking at kind of like, us man, he's looking at us man like, you man are a bit weak. He's like, yeah, I'm hearing you got stabbed in the leg and you died. And you're like, you died from a stab in the leg. So even on that contrast, when we look at like,
so he's
us now are dealing with
his version of the stabbing was a lot more gruesome.
Not just the at the same time he said a lot of man were scratching. A lot of man was scratching. They weren't that proper penetrating.
These kids are dealing with some.
That it's not just certain man aren't just using kitchen knives. There's zombie knives. There's different kinds of knives. Once it goes in, there's more extra.
I see some anime knives that they laid out on the thing. Yeah, some mad. Like,
bro, you're getting stabbed by 17 different shots.
It's coming out.
With that here, no, I do get what. But
I see the point. Yes, I get the point.
In terms of like they were just going through a madness. But I do think now they just, like I said, they're dealing with like a whole nother level of like, bro, the weaponry. What they're stabbing each other with is these are mad tools. Like we're not talking about a little flick knife or magic slash or whatnot. Because obviously, remember, there's a lot of cases as well where people get stabbed, like youth get stabbed and they survive.
Yeah,
like there's thousands of those cases. Just that we see the deaths more,
the fatalities more.
Yeah, we see the fatalities more in social media. You get what I'm saying? But they're the ones we see. Like sometimes some of these kids are getting stabbed like 3-4 times. Some they get stabbed like 17 times. Right, it's mad. But then there's some that get the mad stabbies and survive, and there's some that just pass away. I just think it's a bit like I get what your dad's saying, but for that one, it's just like I feel like back then you probably weren't hearing a lot about people that are dying from getting stabbed like that.
Yeah,
it was just a different time. Bro.
Yeah, now we hear about it, and it's a kind of like it's worse now, isn't it?
I feel like they were
I have
definitely.
that conversation all the time. Is it worse
It's
now?
definitely worse now.
Nah, it is, bro. Because even back then, people were trying to fight.
Yeah.
For the most part, people were trying to fight. I feel like the stabbings were off case or off charge.
It depends how you want to view it, if it's bad or not.
Yeah. More time they'll be willing to duke it out. Like, okay, you've got a problem with me, I've got a problem with you. Let's just fight
it out.
Alright, I mean,
you're looking at it from that direct spec. I'm looking at it in the sense of just the sense of how London is. I personally think it's a lot safer. Like, look at Peckham, for example. Even me going to Brockley, for example. Growing up, my heart's beating if I bust a corner at a certain road, bro. I don't know what I'm facing there. I'm going home the other night and I'm just seeing everyone just freely walking.
No, you have to understand.
And I'm like,
hold
rah,
on,
like,
hold
it's
on,
good.
hold on.
It's good to see
You're
it,
not
but
a child anymore. You're not in that space for.
no, bro. Even when I was growing up, I'm not seeing adults out on the mains like how you see adults nowadays in.
Yes, obviously it's a lot more safer, but you have to remember.
Even in the night time.
You have to
Peckham
remember,
at night.
them are not coming for you, fam.
Huh?
They're not coming for you. You're a civilian in their eyes. I didn't.
Bro, bystanders used to get touched in our times, you know.
Yeah, not anymore.
so it's a bit safer then.
I'm saying
So
I'm
it's
saying-
safer.
yeah,
That's
I'm
what I'm saying.
saying it's
Yeah,
safer,
so-
but it's different.
So it's safer.
It's different for you, but you're older now as well. The world is
That comes
changed.
into it.
You have to pick it up. The world. Listen, a lot of the stuff we're saying, we need to just remember the world is constantly changing, and it's still gonna change. So the things we're talking about now, it could get worse. It can get a lot more safer, like you said, as it's going in this direction. I don't know.
I go against what DG said. I don't think it's gone safer. I think, for example, what you're saying is safer for us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
For a teenager, he's still cutting the corner thinking, right, I don't want to get bucked by someone in this corner.
That's what I'm
Or
saying.
man's cutting through Louis thinking,
You're
right, I
not
don't
free-
want to
you're
bump
not
into
free
these
Okay.
in
man.
that lifestyle
Illusion.
anymore to feel that.
Because the reason why I say that is because remember, I work in education.
Yeah,
you get what I'm
you're
saying?
privy to more
So
things,
I
yeah.
hit, bro, some of these kids don't want to go certain areas. Some of these kids don't want to get bucked by certain man. Some of these kids are live or like on the bus getting somewhere, getting bucked. It's cracking. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like that for some of the for a lot of these kids. It's like that.
But would you say nowadays it's a case of if you're involved, you're getting touched? If you're not involved.
I'm not. If
Nowadays, bro, if you weren't involved, you're so happy slap.
I was about to say happy slaps as well, you know. Happy slaps.
Innocent bystanders are getting slapped up on the
Yeah,
bus.
so
You're on your
what's-
way home.
So what's happening now is innocent bystanders are getting robbed, bro. You think these little youths are just cutting home? I'm not involved, bro. What? You got iPhone 16? Give me that. That's what's happening right now, bro.
Really?
So now, yes, bro. Yes, bro.
And
There's
there's so much
innocent
people out-
and
bystanders.
this is what I
And there's
said.
so
At
many
young
people
age,
outside that
you're
see
not-
that these
Brian is
branches
more
and
free.
stuff.
What you need to understand is,
Yeah.
there's always gonna be like, it's sad to say, but there's always gonna be in someone's mind, yeah. So talk about mental health here. For some of these young people, yeah, mentally they see themselves as just like this kind. They think that they're invincible, so they will do whatever they want to do to get to a certain aspect because they know they can mess with, they can't mess with. So they'll target certain people. In his mind, he's thinking, this sneak, I'm just gonna take his phone. Nothing's gonna happen about it. Do you get what I'm saying? I need. Either he needs money or trying to do it for status, trying to show off. Whatever he's doing it for, he's doing it. But he's just gonna do it. I remember in our age or when we were younger, there was those guys that just have that mad mentality, like, right, I was just gonna do what I want. If I see you as a neek, or if I see you as somebody that's has no status, so you have no power, I'm gonna violate you. There's people like that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
that makes
even
sense. Where I was thinking
at
outside,
the
yeah.
younger age, there's still people like that. And when those people meet up with more like-minded people who are like that, it's a problem. And that's what we have now. And the same thing we had back then. It's honestly the same. I don't think it's safer. I think it's safer for us because we shifted out of that space.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've lifted. Now we've gone up. Do you get what I'm saying? We're not like youth no more. Like a teenager shouldn't be coming to me to ask me any questions.
Brother, it
Do you get what I'm
makes
saying?
no sense.
I'm a big man. Look at me.
Nah,
Look
we're
at
unks
yourself.
now,
Do you get what I'm
bro.
saying?
Yeah.
So he's not gonna approach me. If I'm in year 10 wearing a tech fleece and my Air Force wear one jacket, it might be like, what? Where you from? Or do you get what I'm saying? It could be a problem for them. For us right now, it's not because we've got older. But I do get what you're saying, because you were just talking about from our era we lived though. We heard more things when we were teenagers happen on the ends about than we hear now.
But at the same time, I'm hearing ends is still
Yeah,
hot sometimes.
I'm saying so on the flip side.
They
They
turned
hear
them on the
other
map,
things.
bro. They
So,
turned them all over the gaff this week, bro.
yeah. So
They all
yeah,
over the place.
I just think it's a bit. Yeah, I think it's a bit. Yeah. I think
Nico, what would your perspective be on it? Like, you growing up.
I give the
You
same
grew up in a
opinion
rough
as you.
place.
Yeah. Croydon wasn't the best, to be fair, but I say the same thing as you. I think it's definitely gotten worse in certain parts, but for like pedestrians, you don't really see it. If you're not around it, you're not gonna know about
Yeah,
it.
you won't be
So,
privy to it.
like, obviously for you, as I have that same opinion, I'm like, I don't think it's as bad. But at the same time, I'm not in it, bro. Do you get me? Man's an old man. They call him an unk these days. Do you get me? Like, so obviously, I reject that. But my point is, yeah, at the end of the day, like, they see man as a pedestrian now. You just see man walking the street or whatever, they just think, oh yeah, it's just a...
And adding to what Brian said earlier, they know who they can target. They're not going to target you. They know that's an older man. He might smoke me, fam, regardless of whatever I've got in my head. That's a grown man. I'm gonna target the ones I can target. So that all plays into it as well. So it's definitely not a
Say that depends on the hierarchy, bro. Say my mom do things at a younger age and think that they're out of the game because they're older.
It's mad though. I do think the areas are safer though. I think Peckham's safer.
Croydon safer.
Croydon. Well, Croydon. But like I think
Croydon safer. I'm saying that for that.
No. I'm not saying it's not. It's just Croydon's just not where it used to be, innit? But
Gentrification.
yeah.
That's Croydon.
Do you think that means it's safer though? Or is it just that there's more of a different demographic there all the time now?
Which makes it safer in the main parts. So for example, Brixton, like main Brixton is safe.
Diverse.
That McDonald's bit and that.
Obviously you go a bit further down or whatever, it might be a little bit whatever, but I think gentrification has made it safe in certain parts anyway.
I hear what you're saying.
Because even the same with Peckham, like you go out in Peckham nowadays, you just see bare like
I'm not playing cricket.
hippies.
Please, that's what you're seeing.
Like that's what you're seeing when you go to Peckham. Like,
Different
that's
crowds,
not
so.
what it used to be when we was growing up.
I'm more wild. Like I'll be going through at certain times. I'm like, you just look happy and safe, and I'm like, I've got anxiety for you, man, and I do not know where you are.
Trust me, it's like wait.
It's not safe for you to be out at these times and just happy, go Larry with their group of friends, about to go to that pub or that bar, and it's like, rah,
It's different.
times have changed, innit? I get that feeling when I'm in Lucian as well.
Yeah.
Lucian's mad,
Big time. Once they finish, that thing's basically finished now anyway. Once that opens up again, same demographic, more of them will be coming.
Have you got, I was going to ask, you got any younger siblings?
No.
Little cousins or anything?
Yeah, I got a little cousin, yeah.
Are you close?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the mindset? I want to go into, it's a touchback on, we kind of went on a tangent, but it's a touchback on the younger generation. When you talk to him, how do you gauge him?
It's different, man. I can't even say if it's about like the youth in general because I don't know like bare like like youth them and that. Yeah, but like sometimes it's hard to gauge because obviously I feel like a lot of times I talk to him. I try not to kind of give him that too much of a talk, too much or whatever. That talk or whatever. I try not to, innit? I ain't gonna lie, but at the same time, like, I ain't gonna lecture you, but like. Whatever.
Here's a bit of knowledge.
Like, obviously, man can give them a little bit or whatever because we've been through it, innit? So, who better to tell you than someone that's kind of been through it? We're not that far apart in age, obviously 15 years or whatever, but like, it's not like, I'm not like 20, 30 years older than him, so I can kind of relate in some.
Have you got older cousins?
I do, but I'm not really close to my family like that.
Now, I was only going to wonder, do you have the same worries for your younger cousin that you think your older cousins or older family members would have for you?
What, back in the day?
No, like, back in the day, or even like now.
Yeah, definitely. Because obviously, it's one of those things where you're navigating in this world, in this life we live, or whatever. Yeah, especially when we were young. Fam, anything could have happened, bro. Like anything could have happened. You go to, as you said, you bust down the wrong corner or whatever. Fam, it could be Pete for man. So definitely there was some protection there, but it wasn't anything crazy because I was not that close to my family like that, innit?
So certain experience, okay, put yourself in your little cousin's shoes. Certain experience you went through at that age, have you noticed how it's impacted you in your adult life? Any things you experienced going through?
What, you mean just as a youth?
Yeah, like growing up, situations occurring. Do you feel like you've got anxiety from this situation, you're anxious from this, or you're more cautious now?
Definitely more cautious. Because at the end of the day, obviously, bro, shit weren't sweet when we were younger, bro. So it's like...
So there's more trauma from them.
You still have that kind of...
Trauma stuck in. Is this why we look at the ends and we look at a certain type of way like, rah, the trauma's still there from how we felt at our age. When we're going through these areas and you're seeing people, you're still feeling anxious, you're thinking, rah, how do you cut through the thinking that you're fine?
How do you just move safe in these type of environments, bro? It's mind-boggling to me.
So do you not propel, but when you're talking to your little cousins, are you talking to him from that aspect? That's because you know how you feel now from the experiences you had at his age.
Yeah. And for the most part, I just say obviously like all this shit is not worth it, bro. For the most part, like a lot of his ego and a lot of it comes from a need or whatever. It comes from different places and shit. Sometimes it's poverty, like bro, just bare different reasons, innit? But I just say to him, like for the most part, bro, none of this shit is worth it. Whatever you see outside or whatnot is not worth it to lose your life to get into a situation, because these youths these days, bro,
don't care.
They don't care, bro. They don't care, and they're carrying shit that I've never seen in my life. Bro. I swear to you, bro. Samurai swords and all them things there. It's like, rah, this is what you man are on.
But do you think they're
the trousers? And thinking, what? Hold on.
Do you think they reflect upon it? Only because
no, not like that. Not in the sense of where you think they reflected.
I don't think it hits them as much as we know, because obviously because we're out of it and we're older, yeah, we see it differently. Because if we was in that same situation, bro, like.
No, but do you reflect on it to see how it's affected you in your adult life? Like what traumatic things you've gone through, and have you ever sat down and think, rah, I now clock why I move this way, or I'm a bit cautious when I go around here. Not just cautious, but mentally, how you over-evaluate situations.
Yeah. No, definitely. Car, fam, man's been rushed 1-2 times, fam. Like,
it's a safe space. It's a safe space.
Yeah, man. So, like, it just causes you to be on high alert when certain things are around you. Naturally, bro. It's just instinct. And when you're in certain areas and you're growing up in certain areas, the instinct just kicks in.
Because that's why I think, this is to touch on it again, I feel a lot of mental breakdowns will happen with the younger generation compared to us. Because I feel like we were doing certain things we'll get involved with at that age. It was kind of like, there wasn't no peer pressure to it. He wasn't doing it for a fashion. It's kind of like, you're doing it to either keep yourself safe. Whereas these men are going out there doing this shit for fun. But I know certain people that will sit down and reflect and they'll be like, nah, I wish I never done this, I wish I never done that, because now I can't move a certain type of way.
That's because they're older now.
No, but that's what I'm saying. At the rate of these younger generation are moving.
Like we said, when you hit a certain age, like 26, you start to ask yourself, I need to get myself in order. So they're probably having regrets of, right, I didn't need to do that when I was younger. Everyone has that. Everyone has regrets.
But I'm saying, I feel they're going to have more regrets than us.
Of course they are. Them are doing a mad thing.
No, I'm talking the younger generation. I'm talking the younger generation now compared to our generation.
So, because they're doing a mad thing.
So this is why I tie it back into mental health. The breakdowns I'm seeing with a lot of man that I'm like, raw, you came across the man mad strong at a certain point, and I'm seeing you crumble, and it's just like, when I actually deep delve with him, it's a situation that I wouldn't think you'd pay a week from that situation and that. But now if I talk to a younger generation, them man are doing certain things of the same caliber at 10 times the rate. And I'm like, you lot are going to collapse at some certain point the way you're right.
If they don't get the right help.
But what does that help?
A lot of them ain't going to get the right help.
Yeah, and that's the harsh reality.
But I think that point that DJ's trying to make is, I think definitely growing up in the end, like what you said, bro, is it plays a certain part, because like you said, you have to be on high alert. Do you get what I'm saying? If you was raised in an area where you just go home and it's fine, you don't see no man this, you don't hear about no one getting stabbed, rushed, you don't hear about no gang beef in the area, you wouldn't be on high alert when you're getting home. You just go home normal. Do you get what I'm saying? So when you grow up in those areas where things like that happen, or things even happen to yourself, do you get what I'm saying? I've had certain things happen to myself. Do you get what I'm saying? Now when I'm getting home, I'm checking. Do you get what I'm saying? So I would definitely say I wouldn't do that if those things didn't happen to me, or if I didn't hear what happens in the area was happening. Do you get what I'm saying? So those things definitely affect you in your life, and probably as you go older now. Even now that I've moved, do you get what I'm saying? Even when I'm going home, still in the new ends, I'm still checking.
Oh, regardless.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Trauma's a thing, bro.
I'm still checking, just in case. You just never know.
But what do you call that, negative trauma? Or
I think all trauma is trauma, isn't it? Like,
I'm saying, it sounds dumb to say positive or negative trauma.
Yeah, it's all negative.
And you're probably talking positive in the sense that you can learn from the
I'm taking
move forward.
I'm trying to take the cool.
Are you seeing it as a lesson learned, or are you seeing it as
I'm seeing it as a lesson learned. Like, so now, because of the stuff I know I went through when I was younger, now I'm a lot more alert when I'm older. So can't catch me off guard. I'm on my P's and Q's. So I feel like that little trauma might have helped me.
I think that comes down to your perspective, though.
Yeah, that's it.
Because for some people, they could sort of withdraw because of that.
Yeah, no, absolutely,
You know
definitely.
I mean? Like, obviously, you're a strong character, so it doesn't really. Obviously, you use it to learn from it more than anything.
Yeah.
So you take it forward, and you're like, okay, cool. How can I X, Y, and Z. Some people be like, okay, I ain't going over there anymore.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because that happened, whatever, when I was younger, whatnot. They that street might traumatize them.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like for some people,
true.
they will stay away from that
Torridon
area.
Road to me, my heart starts beating from Torridon Road. Heart starts beating, right? Man, like from a kid, I don't like hearing that road.
This is what I'm saying. So obviously,
Yeah.
it affected you differently.
Nothing ever even happened to me on that road, bro. It's just stories I heard.
Man's just got inherited trauma.
Yeah,
From
some stories.
I made a mental note.
Can't experience that
You
one.
said that on what road?
Can't experience that
Yeah.
one.
If I hear something else, what on that same road?
Too many stories.
A week later, I hear what? Where was you? Torridon Road. What? Torridon Road.
Yeah,
I'm never stepping foot on this road.
And you
Man,
said,
I'm just getting done. I'm not getting there.
But certain man used to feel that way with Turnham, and I used to be like, so again, it's perspective. Because even certain man would be like, oh, you live in Turnham? He's like, no, I can't back in Turnham. I'm like, Ends is cool, bro. What are we talking about? Ends is safe.
For you.
It's fine, bro.
For you live there.
you lived in it, bro. You was calm.
I'm a stranger to them, man. I'm gonna say, yo, who's that? Peak. I don't want to do that, man.
Some man's done out for just paying you a visit.
Bro, never going
You're
back
just
there.
there like, yeah, no, it's calm, bro. Calm.
Man's calling you and he's running. Wait, fam. Don't know what to turn that road. I mean, they're not chasing me.
Heart beating. Just gave me certain flashbacks, man. Dark times. I wanted to touch on family, but I was gonna pass this over to Micah just to discuss, because again, a lot of conversation I had with my dad today is gonna be linked in with this conversation because it just clicks. So I wanted to see, how would you say growing up in your household, would you say you experienced seeing a lot of mental health, or did you even understand at the time that it was that if you did see it?
Yeah, I definitely saw it. Obviously, because my dad's got schizophrenia. He's had schizophrenia from obviously before I was born.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw different episodes that he would have when I was younger. So I remember there was a time where because he used to go to the mental hospital,
Okay.
right? And he would run away when even before he fully recovered. So he was still in an episode, right? So he would come home and my mum would let him in. Yeah. So obviously he would ring the doorbell, no answer or whatever. So he would peer through the little mailbox kind of thing, and he would just be like, "Oh, Micah, come open the door, it's your dad." And my mum was like, "No, don't open the door, he's not in his right mind." So seeing that as a child, you don't really know how to process it. It's what does that even mean?
You're thinking,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not in your right mind. What is that?
Because your eyes just that's just dad.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
so not really understanding it. Obviously, you have to piece it together or somehow, because you're a child and you're given this information. It's like, all right, what do I do with that? Don't know. You kind of have to sort of make it make sense. So you
To
just
yourself,
sort of to yourself. So it's just so you're going around saying, oh yeah, okay, cool. My dad's not in his right mind. What does being in your right mind mean? What does it mean to be out of your right mind? What does that even look like? Obviously, I saw it manifest through him, but it's just I didn't really understand that. Even there was times where, for example, he'll run away and he'll go away for a little bit. We won't see from him. We won't hear from him. We won't see him in I don't know however long or whatever. There was a time where he ran away for about a year. Went to his yard. No phone calls, no nothing. We didn't know what was happening with him, innit? So we just, you hope for the best. You hope he's all right or whatever, because you can't get through to him. You don't know where he is, and he's in an episode, so he could be anywhere, innit? So obviously he came back after about a year or whatever, and I was just and I asked him "Rah, where did you go?" And he was just like, "Rah, he went everywhere, innit?" He went all throughout the UK, bro. I don't know how he planned it, bro. I don't know
How he navigated.
it, bro. I'm not gonna lie,
Bro, we're all circles.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go there.
he said he did a road trip, bro. I was like, rah, it sounded like an adventure, bro. I'm not gonna lie, fam. But I was like, shit. So yeah, I was like, rah, where did you stay in that? But yeah, he was just saying wherever he could, some hotels. you know, sometimes not, like sleep on the streets, that kind of thing, innit? So it's just sort of going everywhere with it. And there was another time where like often through his episodes and that, when he's having or a phase of it would be like he just sort of stares blankly and you don't like know what he's not responsive. He's just staring into space basically. He's not looking at you, he's looking through you. And then I thought like, right, because obviously I was young at the time, and I thought maybe my voice might make him like kind of pattern up kind of thing, like, oh, like maybe he might come to his senses kind of shit. But like he was not responsive to anything, and then the people came to take him to the mental hospital or whatever. So like seeing that, obviously everyone, no one. I don't think anyone really has a normal childhood. I don't, especially where I'm from anyway. Like I don't think any.
And just rubbed out the one again. So we all grew up fucked up.
Nah, listen, misery loves company, bro. Misery loves company. But like, I don't think anyone really from my neck of the woods. Obviously, I'm wrong. I know that, but I don't think anyone's had a proper normal kind of childhood or whatever. But I guess I realized quite quickly that it wasn't normal.
At what age do you think you realized?
Bro, from like primary, bro. Because when you see other children with their parents,
so that you start to now compare and make that comparison.
Yeah. I'm seeing other people with their parents and I'm like, oh.
But did any of your family ever sit down with you to explain what's going on? Or do you have to teach yourself?
I had to teach myself. My mum gave me, you know, her knowledge, which obviously it's one of those things because you're not trained. Yeah. There's only so much you know, and obviously back then there was no internet. Man couldn't Google the thing. Man couldn't say what is schizophrenia and whatever.
Use AI to break it down.
Trust me, you couldn't do all of that, innit? So, she only could tell me what she knew, which wasn't a great deal. Because you know where are you gonna find this stuff out from or whatever. So she tried to piece it together, but she didn't. She did what she could. She did what she could, didn't it? So it's one of those things. So you just kind of have to navigate through it from what you're hearing, and you kind of have to make sense of it. So I feel like I kind of had to mature a little bit just to understand that from a young age. You know what I mean?
Would you say? Word it.
Be nice, no?
It'd be nice, So would you say?
I was gonna say, how do you think it affected your relationship with your dad growing up? Because like I said, you never at any point looked at your dad any different. How do you think you was gonna move forward with that to keep the bond? Do you think at the time I'm gonna be closed-minded to it, or I'm gonna keep going on, or I'm gonna be open-minded to it and try to understand it more? I'm gonna try, like, did it bring you closer to your dad or push you away from your dad?
It was a bit complicated because he also like ditched for a little bit, innit? So obviously during his episodes or whatever, when things got a little bit better, relationship was a bit rocky between him and Marge, whatever. So they split, and I didn't see him for, I don't even know how many years it was, but I didn't see him for a good couple of years or whatever, innit? So like, to me, it was more because of that why I had an issue with him than the whole than the whole schizophrenia kind of thing. So I wouldn't. I don't know how to answer that question because do you know what I mean? Because it was like I wasn't as forthcoming with him because
of that,
what's it called, the whole situation and him cutting and whatever. So I wasn't as forthcoming when, you know, he tried to patch things up, and that because of that, not because of the whole mental health aspect of things. But I think it was one of those things where I kind of just accepted it from when I was younger. Do you know what I mean? Like it's especially when you're young, bro, you don't want to understand what's going on with a situation or whatever because you just want it to be normal. You just like, like why can't my dad be X, Y, and Z or whatever. So. Like, obviously there was part of that being completely transparent, but at the same time, it's one of those things where I came to like just accept the way the situation was from young.
Did you develop any behavioural issues from it? Like, did you notice growing up as a teen, was you more angry to situations? Would you crash out more?
I think I was more numb, bro.
Okay, that's interesting.
I think I was just more numb to certain situations, because with him, when he would go through his situations or whatever, his episodes, it was like there was a part of me that wanted to feel like something about the whole situation, with like seeing him like that.
To become desensitized to it.
I kind of just became numb to it.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to
Just
say?
became normal.
Yeah, it was just like, okay, this is just kind of how it is.
Another episode.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's like, it in a weird way, I just became numb to certain things because of that. I feel like that's probably how it affected me as well.